Good afternoon. Welcome to episode 3 of the Dittmer Knittery podcast. My name is Bev, and I'm coming to you today from the state of Georgia in the United States. It's October 22nd. Thank you to everyone who has come over to my channel and liked and subscribed. This is my third video, and as of this taping, I have, I believe, 68 subscribers. And I'm very happy to say that my subscriber number 68 was Setta of Setta's Place. I couldn't be more pleased that Setta found my channel, subscribed, and she even made a comment. Thank you so much, Setta. I love all the things you do, and I hope that I will get to making that Setta's summer top. I even have yarn picked out for it. I also want to thank a few more people. Of course, there's no way I can possibly thank everyone. Ginger, the Yarn Geek, I've started joining her early in the morning for her daily live. Kelli's Crochet Creations, and Elma of Hooks Up, Needles Ready, Yarn. She is also a new podcaster, so go check her out. Go check all of those people out that I mentioned, and I will link their videos in my description so you can easily find them. I'm going to introduce you to another staff member today. You know Anne Marie. But I have a little dog who's 14 years old. He is very sweet and gentle, and I would like you to meet him. His name is Isaac. Here he is. And he's, like I said, he's 14 years old, so that makes him about 98 in dog years. He's agreed to sit on my lap for a minute because I gave him a treat. But I'm going to set him down and he's going to jump right back in his bed. But he's been my companion for all of his life. Well, I think I got him when he was about 3 months old. So he's been my companion for 14 years. And like I said, he's very gentle and sweet. He likes everybody. And he's slowed down a little bit in his old age, but otherwise he's doing great. So that's Isaac. Have one more staff member, Georgia, the cat that I've talked about, and I don't think she'll make an appearance today. I already offered her a treat and she didn't come out, so we'll see if we can get to see her some other day. So the highlight of my week this week was that I got to spend some time with my daughter. She's an adult, and she came to get me to take me to a doctor's appointment that's about an hour away. So we got to go on a nice ride together. It's beautiful here in Georgia. She came and picked me up early in the morning, and we went on a nice drive and had a great visit. I had a good doctor's appointment. Really didn't find out anything, just, one of those where you go and talk to the doctor and we talk about what we're going to do next. Anyway, after the doctor's appointment, she said, "Look, there's a Michael's right there." So she took me into Michael's and we walked around and looked at the yarn, and they had anniversary cakes. And when I first saw them, I thought the sign said 50% off, and I said, I'm going to buy one of these. But the sign said, buy one, get one 50% off. So you'd have to buy two to get the discount, and instead of it being, they're $34.99, so instead of it being $17.50, it's $34.99 plus $17.50 that I would be spending in getting two anniversary cake. So I said, no, I don't want to do that. It's a novelty. I'd really like to have it because I'll buy it. And that just, oh my gosh, what a good feeling that she would offer to do that. And then I realized that I didn't need it. And just knowing that I could have it made me so happy that I was able to just leave it there and not spend the money. And really, something like that would be a novelty for me. That's not a type of yarn that I normally use. So it would probably sit on my shelf for a while, maybe for years before I figured out what I was going to do with it. But to spend that time with my daughter and then to have her offer to buy me an anniversary cake, that, like I said, that was the highlight of my week. So I am going to talk about my works in progress and my finished objects today. But I want to lead into that a little bit with talking about how I like to plan things. So here as we near the end of the year, and last year I did the same thing. And anyway, I like to plan. I like to set goals. I like to make plans. I like to make notes. And often I make these rather elaborate plans that only partially come to fruition, which is fine with me because the planning is fun. But my planning and goal setting are fluid. The plan gives me something to look at and adjust and change. So it's not like, okay, I set this goal and I have to do this by this date. Sometimes I have goals like that. You know, things are important and I have to get things done by a certain date, and I am very deadline conscious. But I try not to put pressure on myself about having to do exactly what I plan to do. Pardon me. All that to say, I made a bunch of plans to do a lot of crocheting and knitting, specifically to improve my skills, to learn to do some new stitches and new techniques, because like I said in my previous video, I've spent a lot of time making these knitted felted bags and made very few other things, and I feel like I have an opportunity to make other things now, and that's what I want to do. I started making these crochet bags because they were very easy and it was a way to practice my crochet skills, and I had a lot of cotton yarn. And then I found some more cotton yarn on sale, so I'm set up pretty well to make some more crocheted market bags. I want to make Setta summer top. I would like to knit some wrist warmers, maybe even some for myself and some as gifts. That seems like a really easy thing to knit, and you could even embellish it and make it personalized, I think, pretty easily. Then I made those market bags. I talked about them on my podcast. I put them in my Etsy shop. I put them on Facebook. I took a nap. I woke up and 8 of them had sold. 8 of the 10 had sold. So that made me feel like I needed to make some more market bags, even though I had kind of planned to do something else. And then I got an offer to be in a craft fair on November 7th. Now this will be an outside distance fair, and the person that asked me to be in it, his name is Howard Pausner, and the craft fair will be at Paradise Gardens in Summerville, Georgia. I know the organizers of the event. I'm familiar with the venue. I have a fellow artist, Lee Laney, who will go with me. Lee is a potter, and he will bring his goods and we will go together. And on November 7th, we're going to be in a craft festival. So again, another reason to continue to make things that people want to purchase. Market bags and perhaps some small things like ornaments and key fobs and inexpensive things that people may want for Christmas gifts. Looking at my notes, thank you for your patience. Now the market bags I've been making, and a lot of the things I make, I've been trying not to use patterns, even if I don't write patterns. I kind of do the crochet or knit math in my head or in my notebook or in a spreadsheet and figure out what I want to do. Partly because, and I look at pictures, I look at patterns, I rely on others for their advice and for their wisdom, you know, that they have accumulated. But I decided that if I was going to make things like bags and scarves, that I needed to use my own knowledge and not rely on a pattern to do that. So all the market bags are my own original design. It's nothing fancy at all, but I did make it up. So I'm going to talk about next my works in progress. The next thing I want to show you is knitted. The next thing, I haven't shown you anything yet. Sorry if I stumbled over my words a little bit there. So I'm going to start showing you some of my works in progress, including some market bags. But first I want to show you a knitted project I'm working on. And this is a very simple knitted project. It's just a knit 3, purl 3 rib. So it's not any pattern, but again, I just relied on my own knowledge to make it up. And I hope it's going to be a pocket scarf. this lovely Yarn Bee yarn, and this is Fireplace Comfort in the colorway Skating Pond. And I've got quite a bit knit on the length of it. This is folded in half. So I've got quite a bit knit on the length of it. I think it has a very nice green tint to it. It's quite lovely, fun to work with. And let's see, my needles are quite large. I think they're probably 11 or 13. 11. Size 11 Chow bamboo knitting needles. And this is, not sure what size yarn this is. This is a worsted 4. It feels a little heavy to me, but it is fluffy and squishy. And when I started this project, I made a swatch that I hoped would be a pocket, but it might be a little bit small. It's stretchy and it would work, but on second thought, I think I am going to make larger pockets to sew on when I'm finished knitting. And I'll show you the yarn. It's quite lovely, but I think my text is coming out backwards, so I'll just show you the yarns and tell you what they are. I may not show you the ball bands. My next work in progress is crochet. We'll move on to the crochet. And it's another market bag. I'm really happy with it so far, and it is nearing completion. Again, I used this flower motif, and I did look up how to make a flower like this, and I should be able to find it, and I will credit it in my description. Leave a link to show you how I learned this stitch, but I changed it quite a lot. Looked up a basic flower, how to make a flower like that, and then I changed the stitch count and I made it fit on my bag. And this is, again, Yarn Bee yarn. I'm using 2 strands held together. This yarn is called Wrapology Use. It's 90% cotton, 10%, I believe the other 10% is polyester. Yes, that's correct. And the colorway is Passion Flower. And I got a couple more colorways of this. I really like the look and feel of this. I think it's very appropriate for market bags. And I'm using, I believe it's an eye hook. And the hooks I've been using lately, because I got this nice set, so I've just been using these hooks, are We Crochet Caspian crochet hook set that I got from Knit Picks. Now, I really like them. I like the way they look. I like the way they feel. I love green, so I like that they're all beautiful like this. The only thing with them is that, as far as I can tell, and I've looked really closely, there's no way to tell what needle size, what hook size it is, unless it's in the package or you have your gauge to check it. So it's not a big problem, but I just thought that was a little odd that they're not marked at all. My next work in progress is another market bag, and it's just barely started. It has a little bit of the bottom part of it crocheted, and I have made quite a few of the market bags that I sold from this kind of yarn, this Yarn Bee Sugar Will Cotton. This colorway is Sprinkles on Top. I really like the way the color changes make the market bags look. I like the weight and feel of this cotton yarn. And this cake, 335 yards, with the pattern, the crochet pattern that I've made up in my head for these bags, makes one bag. And I start out, most of my bags, the formula I've developed, I crochet 24, 20, 26 or 27 and crochet in the chains back across to get 24 stitches. So I like to start, if I'm going to make a 24 stitch start, I start with 26 stitches because I undo that first stitch. It looks kind of sloppy to me. Anyway, 24 by 24, 24 stitches by 24 rows. And then I just start crocheting around and up. So that's how the bottom of this bag was made. That's that. I'm not sure if this was a 24 by 24, but close to that. And then after I make the bottom, then I just start, I pick up stitches all the way around and start crocheting up and around and add whatever kind of crochet stitch I want to add that makes it look pretty. One more work in progress, and this is a blanket I'm making for a friend, and I am using Fiber Spider's tutorial for the Lost Souls Afghan, and I think it's fabulous. Look at that. I just think it's wonderful. It's not really my kind of thing, but wow, the pattern really shows the skulls very well, I think. And he looks kind of spooky when he moves around. And I think my friend, I believe, is going to be very happy. This is, I believe, the same yarn that Fiber Spider is using and the same size hook. So this is, I thought I had all these yarns memorized. This is Lion Brand Pound of Love Antique White. Yes. With a J Afghan that I just showed you, and I don't know what's happened to it. It has to be in this house, like probably even in this room, so it will turn up. And I have other J hooks, so I'm not going to let that hold me up. And I will link Fiber Spider's tutorial in my description. I have two finished objects for you today. One was a work in progress, my last podcast, and that's this market bag that had the twisted treble crochet stitches